Hey everyone, it's Reshni of glamazini.com, bringing you light and laughter per usual. Welcome to Find Your Light Live. Happy Friday, everyone. Your girl is doing dainty today. The word for today is dainty. I'm even wearing little pearl earrings. Thought about making bigger earrings or putting on a bigger pair so they would show up on camera, but we're here now. Okay. I got my hair done about a week ago, and I haven't been wearing it down. So today I went like cute dress. You see what I'm saying? With like fluttery sleeves. You guys are missing the bottom. There is like a very high twirl factor. Okay, if you're here with me, say hi on YouTube. And if you are going to see this on Facebook, you're going to see it later because your girl is still in Facebook jail. Okay, it's been a month. I haven't been able to go live in a month on Facebook because apparently they think my emoji game is not okay. It's NFFW, but yeah, we're here now. So you'll be watching this later on Facebook. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 tips on how to make friends as an adult. Hi, Calla Lily. 5 tips on how to make friends as an adult. Why, Reshni, why are you doing this? Well, at the beginning of this year, I held a virtual planning retreat. And in that planning retreat, I had 50 women. 50 women joined me, and we had a blast. It was so nice. I did it twice. I ran it in January, and then I ran it again in February for fois. Okay, for fois. So hopefully you got your life. Hopefully you were one of those women. And then I touched base with all the women. We had a live meetup, and I was like, what do you guys want to talk about? And they were like, let's talk about friendships, how hard it is to make these friends, how hard it is to strengthen these friends, and the horrible heartbreak, okay, when your friendships end. Hi, Southern Rose, Tia D. Because one of the ladies was like, I feel like my friend and I got a divorce and she took the kids. And I was like, go. I understand. And we don't talk about that. Okay. It's not just Bruno we don't talk about. We don't talk about the pain, hi TJ, that we feel when friendships end as adults. So, if you're a Black woman and you struggle with friendships, let me know in the comments. Do you have that experience? One of the things that I have noticed being a Black woman, okay, a Black girl, a Black girl, a Black girl, if I'm a Black girl, if I'm a Black girl, if I'm a Black girl. Hi, India. Hi. One of the things I've noticed sitting back, being a person that doesn't struggle with friendships, is I will see 2 very common sentiments in the Black female community. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. The first one is no new friends. No new friends. Okay. I am actually in a Facebook group with some of my good friends, not even joking. And the picture at the top of the Facebook group is no new friends. I know I'm not the only person. Hi, Elvia. Hi. The second sentiment that I tend to see in the community of Black women is that women are difficult to be friends with. And so they prefer to be friends, to not have friends, or they prefer to have friends that are men. Am I the only person that has heard those 2 things go by me? They go by me. I personally have never held either of those sentiments, but if you have, drop it in the comment section, comment below, let me know, and we'll chop it up. Okay, so before I move on, I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, you heard me say that I had a planning retreat in January and February. And it was because I was being nosy, you guys. There's a new platform called Vibely. It's a newer platform called Vibely. Heard somebody talking about it, was being nosy, was about to do my own personal planner retreat by myself. Okay. And then I went ahead and invited people to do it with me. There are actually 50 women sitting over on my Vibely community right now, which is amazing. And like I said, I asked them what they wanted to talk about, and they gave me a list of topics. Okay, the topics included things like confidence. The topics included things like sex, your body, and Christianity for Black women, which I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that one. That might have to be top secret for people who are only in the group. I'm not joking. There were lots of other topics they said they wanted to talk about, but the one that got the party started was about making friends. and specifically when friendships end and how to make it. So that's why. So I'm going to bring my Pineapple Crowns coaching group back. What is that, Rashni? I used to have a coaching group, you guys, for 2 years. I had a membership Pineapple Crowns coaching group. And I closed it last year because pandemic, virtual school, we were finishing our basement. There was a lot going on and your girl could not. Okay. But things have changed now. And I've decided that I'm embracing ease. Shout out to Stephanie Perry. Okay. I'm doing the least. I'm making things simple. And I do have the bandwidth to bring my coaching group back. And so we are going to start the whole thing off talking about friends. This is actually the start of it, you guys. So we're going to be talking about how to make friends. We're going to be talking about how to strengthen existing friendships. And we're going to be talking about what to do when friendships end. Okay. It's going to be on Vibely. I'm going to do a challenge because, we love a challenge. Okay. It's going to be 2 weeks long. I think April 18th to the 29th is what my brain says right now. And I am going to be basically giving you guys 5 tips on how to make friendships right now. But in that challenge, I'm going to be brain dumping all the other things that I can think of. As a person who has never struggled with making friendships, I always remember that I need to take it back to the skills of how to even make a friend first, because sometimes friendships and other people are talking about how to make a friend. So I'm going to have a whole challenge. If you struggle with making friends as an adult, which I'm gonna tell you later is not an uncommon thing. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just a normal human being. But if that is a struggle of yours, come join me on Vibely, okay? Because I'm about to hook you up with things. I have been reading books. I kid you not. I've been reading articles. I have been reading research studies. I've read 4 research studies so far. Not kidding. Okay, there's an Audible thing happening. I'm listening to things on the Bible app. Okay, I am saturated with information about friendships. Besides, I'm really good at making friends just personally. So Vibely. It's going to be 2 weeks, like I said, April 18th through the 29th. Join me there. There will also be live group meetups. It's kind of like Zoom, but not. It's like Zoom in Vibely. So we have our group meetups calls. That was actually what made me start wanting to coach again, because I had one group meetup call and was like, oh my God, I love these women so much. I miss this. So we're going to have group meetup calls. I'm also going to start doing like live co-working sessions, because we had the planning retreat, you guys. And what I notice is sometimes you just need to get on a call with other like-minded women and get her done. Okay. And so if you want to have that available to you, come join us in Vibely. Let me put the link. I'm going to do this on the screen because I did this before. If you want to join us, go to the link on the screen, bit.ly/glamazini PC membership, bit.ly/glamazini PC membership. Also, if you go to glamazini.com/coaching at any time, which is what's always on the screen, the Vibely link is there as well. Okay. The last thing I want to share with you guys is I do have a quick flash sale happening right now. If anybody wants to join, stay until the end and I will throw the coupon code in the comment section, of the chat. What time is it? Yeah. And it gives you 25% off of your first month's membership on Vibely, and it ends on Sunday. So that'll happen at the end. Okay, let's start talking about 5 tips. 5 tips to help you create friendships. First of all, I asked the question, you guys, if you're a Black girl and if you've ever heard the 2 things about no new friends and women are difficult to be friends with. Southern Rose says, yes, I've heard both of the sentiments and I ascribe to neither of them. I don't ascribe to either of them either. But I do see it often. And so I feel like it's a valid thing to talk about. I'm not going to go deep into it today. It's probably going to come up in coaching, but it is a common sentiment. It's a common sentiment. Tia says, no, it's not just me. Calla Lily says, her daughter makes friends better with males. Now, here's the thing. I am by no means saying that anything is wrong with being able to make friends with guys. I actually had a pretty good number of male friends in college. I don't have a lot of male friends right now. They're all still the same friends from college, but because I'm not like making new male friends intentionally, but it was easier. It was easy for me to make male friends and female friends. But there are some people who their personalities, that is something that's true. But I do wonder though, why some people say that it's hard to make friends with women. right? That it's one thing if it's good at, they're good at making friends with men, but is it hard to make friends with women? Blue Isis says she makes friends easier with men. Blue Isis, can you tell me why? Okay. I'm going to go with the Burbs, says you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth, which brings me to our 5 tips. Okay, I'm going to start right there. It brings me to our 5 tips. Okay, let's talk about Black women on friendship, how to make friends. I'm looking at my notes. I kept notes, you guys, because, your girl need to make sure she hit her points. Okay. Um, what is a friend? That's the first thing. Now, um, the first thing that you need to keep in mind, this is not the first tip, but this is something for you to keep in mind. Everybody is not a friend. There are different levels to this thing, and everyone is not a friend. And so when you're talking about making friends, I'm going to establish later, what are you actually talking about? What are you actually trying to do? So I wrote this down. A friend is a person's voluntary personal network beyond their family. That sounds really sterile, doesn't it? But it really is. I've heard some quotes say that friends are the family that you choose. There is a facet of choice in the social relationship called friendship. But it's not just people that you choose, because you choose other people too, like coworkers, like acquaintances. And so friendships go beyond just the concept of choice, and they have other components. In my mind, friendships have 3 necessary components: positive, consistent, vulnerability. Positive, consistent, and vulnerable. I watched a TED talk, and unfortunately, I don't have her name. I need to get her name so I can cite her and give her credit for her information. But she was saying that there has been research, and her research has shown that if there's positivity, consistency, and vulnerability, those are the 3 things that are necessary in this voluntary choice that you've made to partner up with a person, a non-family person. And she also was saying that if any of those things are missing, so if it's not a positive experience, but it's consistent and vulnerable, right? If it's not a consistent experience, but it's positive and vulnerable, and if it's not a vulnerable experience, but it's positive and consistent, then oftentimes that does not result in a friendship, or it results in a friendship that is very not satisfying. That was not English? That is not very satisfying. That's what I meant to say. It results in a friendship that's not very satisfying. I also wrote down that friendships are mutual. They're reciprocal, right? There is affection. There are benefits. And I don't mean friends with benefits. I don't mean that kind of benefit. I mean, like, you and your friend benefit each other mutually. There's support, there's concern, there's companionship, there's trust, there's so much more. DA said Brené Brown. No, it's not Brené. It was another lady. I need to write down her name in my notes. It was not Brené, because I love Brené. Brené is listen, I love her. I love her. She's one of my favorites. Okay. But no, it wasn't her TED talk. It was a different TED talk. And I don't remember the lady's name, and I apologize for that. But if you guys look online, if you go to YouTube and you look up friendship TED talk, it might come up. Yes, that was her information. Okay. Another thing is, I was reading a research study recently, because I told y'all I'm knee deep in these research studies. And just so you know, if you have difficulty making friends, nothing's wrong with you. You are normal. Okay. Research shows that after the age of 25, most adults, friendships start to dwindle. And if you think about it, you guys, it makes perfect sense, right? Because before the age of 25, there are all of these socially constructed reasons why we are in consistent and positive, right? Remember, I said positive, consistent, and vulnerable, consistent and positive interactions with people. And the element of vulnerability is kind of slightly thrown in there in an immature way. Think of school, for example. You see this person 5 times a week for 8 hours a day. You guys are so that's consistency. You really enjoy her. She makes you laugh. She's funny. She talks to you at lunch. That's positivity. You guys are growing and learning each other. And so you tell her some of your secrets because you're a child and you don't have boundaries yet. And you guys are having bursts of everything together. That's vulnerability. Those sorts of spaces continue until around age 25. And then what happens around age 25, you guys? We all have to now stand on our own and we have to go out into the world and make friendships without those pre-constructed containers, places for us to make friendships, like school, for example. Um, Church is another place, work is another place, but specifically school and those sorts of social things. And so research studies show that it is absolutely normal. If you notice that your friendship started to wane off in that space, nothing's wrong with you. You're just a normal human being. Okay. You're just a normal human being. So I just want to share that with you guys. Let me go back and see what some people are saying. TJ says, I used to have quite a few of what I thought were male friends, but sadly, some of them had hidden agendas. Well, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to go into that, but this is me sitting here trying to decide whether I'm not going to say much, but I'm just going to say that as a woman, I do believe that you can have platonic male friends. So I'm not one of these people that says men and women can't be friends. I do also believe that men in our social construct in America, where we all live right now, well, most of us, I don't know if all of us are here, are socialized to hang out waiting for their opportunity. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's not what this one is about. So I'm not gonna say anymore. Okay. So the hidden agenda, it was hidden to you because you were not socialized that the way that most men are socialized in America. Are we gonna go on with that? I asked Blue Isis about why she thinks that she makes it's better. It's easier for her to make friends with men. And she said neediness and too emotional. Men get straight to the point, no games. Yeah. So that is, if you think about it, then positive, consistent, and vulnerable. So for you, you consider people to be friends when they are positive and consistent, but maybe vulnerability is not what you feel like you need, or maybe vulnerability scares you. I don't know that to be true. But my next question would be, are these men that you talk about showing up for you? Are they writers? Are they bail money? You know, are they of depth? Right? Because maybe they are friends, but maybe they're not friends of depth. Or maybe they are. You can have a male friend that's of depth. Absolutely, you can. I'm not saying you can't, but that would be a question because I would be curious about that. But anyway, um, Southern Rose says she got super lucky because her mom encouraged her to be good friends. So to be a good friend so she could have good friendships. She didn't hold anti-woman sentiment. Yeah, that's a big part of it in our community as well. I believe that we do have anti-woman sentiments baked into our experience in in America and in Blackness. And I feel that to be sad because for me, it's kind of like when I'm on TikTok and I watch Black men who make TikToks about how they don't date Black women. And I think to myself, but that's self hate because your mom is a Black woman. Why would you make a video about something you don't like and dragging down a group of people? So that self hate that you're talking about sometimes can be passed on and make it set you up for difficulty moving forward. Okay, let me get to my tips. I see you guys here. Hi, Esmery. Hi, you guys. Hi. Okay, so I'm gonna drop you guys a few tips. This is by no means exhaustive. Trust me, I have a spreadsheet over here. I'm looking at it over here that I'm working on to do the challenge that I told you guys about. So if you really want like the meat, okay, I'm giving y'all like the appetizers. All right. This is like a couple wings with the celery. Okay. The meal is going to be on Vibrally because I need to get that together. Okay. So here's a few tips, but I tried to pick ones that are going to give you bang for your buck. I tried to pick ones. So before I go on, I wrote this down. I will say it. Making friends, though, is absolutely worth the effort. Do you know why? Because Studies, I told y'all I'm reading research studies. Studies show that loneliness is just as bad for your health as smoking. And studies also show that loneliness is an epidemic, specifically in our culture. We are more connected and less connected. I am talking to you guys right now, and I am having a parasocial experience with you. However, I am by myself in an empty office. I am dressed up today. I am cute and I am wearing a new dress. Okay. It's cute and it flutters all over the place. There are women on this live right now who I speak to every week. I have never met them in person. And so I could be lonely and you guys would not know that, right? We have so many ways to have positive and consistent interactions with other people via social media. So we feel like we are connected, but so many people are lacking the social skills, the ability to walk outside and create. And then the pandemic has added on to it. So they don't have that vulnerability part. And so they don't have the feeling of mutual support and concern and affection and reciprocity and companionship. And studies show that when you have good friendships in your life, it causes you to have better immune functioning, which means that you heal from sicknesses faster. It decreases your likelihood for disease, illness, and injury. You live longer. Your stress production is reduced in the form of stress hormones and the experience thereof. And you recover faster when you're sick. So beyond the noticeable things like, gosh, I really wish somebody could go through this experience with me, right? I had somebody say to me on Facebook recently that they had a very difficult experience in their life as an adult woman, and they realized they had no one to go through it with them. Beyond that, it's actually good for your physical health. It's good for your physical health, you guys. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to create better friendships. Y'all know I don't keep it surface level. I be deep sometimes. Yes, I know I'll be out here making stupid videos on the internet making you laugh, but it's the laughter and the light. Okay, so some of these are going to be deep. But if you actually do what I say, it will help you. I promise you. Okay? Number 1, the first tip to create friendships as an adult is to be your own friend first. Oh, Rushni, why? Why would you say that? Be your own friend first. Be your own friend. You have to get to know you first. If you remember what I said, up and until age 25, a lot of us have these socially constructed experiences that force people on us, right? And oftentimes when you're moving people from stranger to acquaintance to friendship, right? That's outside of the scope of family. I'm talking about how people become stranger, acquaintance, friendship, partner, husband, wife, right? When you're moving them through that conveyor belt, in school, it's easy that you have instant people in a room with you all the time. You don't have to do no work, right? You don't have to do no work. It's easy. It's like humans are just served up to you on a plate. When you cross that 25-year age, now you got to do this on your own. Some people it comes naturally, other people it sputters to an end. The first thing you have to do if you want to have friendships right now is become your own friend. Get to know who you are. If you have ever coached with me, you sick of me and I do not care. I love to ask the question of who you are. I have done whole challenges where an entire week of the challenge is identity work. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. We're going to have another identity session in the Pineapple Crown. So if you don't know who you are, come through because that's my favorite thing. It's where everything comes from me, right? You out here creating stuff and you don't even know who you are. So you can't, how you going to do it? Okay. It helps you helping knowing who you are helps you know what you want in other people. Everything you're looking for, you have to do it to you first. So the first step is be your own friend first. Be your own friend first. Okay? Get to know who you are. Who are you? What do you like? What are your values? What are your missions? What kind of support do you need? Right? What do you need from somebody else? Why do you want another person in your life? Right? What are your goals with your friends? What is the priority for you? Do you want somebody that likes to do activities? Do you like somebody that likes to have deep conversations? Do you need support as a mom? Do you want a person that goes out? You want somebody to travel with you? You want somebody who believes in Jesus? You want somebody who doesn't? You want like who do you want? Are you looking for a crystals girl, not a girl? You looking for a dude? You want the like what do you want? You want somebody who likes to cook, somebody who wants like somebody who's understands that you have 7 kids, somebody who's like what are you looking for? Are you trying to build something with somebody? You're trying to go deep, you're trying to go wide. You have to get to know that. You also need to know yourself because it helps you know your deal breakers, right? What do you want? What don't you want? If you have coached with me, you recognize this, it's boundaries, right? Can't build a boundary if you don't know what should stay in the boundary and what should be out. And you can't build a friendship if you don't know what should be in and what should be out. One of the things that I have learned, hard lessons I have learned when I did not have boundaries and I was out here just raw dogging these friendships, okay? Is when you don't know what you want and what you don't want, when you don't know what you will do and what you won't do, when you don't know what your priority is, what your yes is and what your no is, these friendships will go awry and it will hurt. Okay. And so while you, in the meantime, in between time, while you're trying to create friendships as an adult, look at yourself first. Okay. How do you do that? You have to start asking yourself questions. I actually have identity work challenging stuff that I can do with you as a coach. Come to Vibely, glamazini.com. I will help you. I have seen women transform, start shifting their entire lives in whole other directions when I work with them on what do you actually want? Who are you? Okay. Southern Tier Rose, I said I was out here raw dogging it. Okay. No protection. No, none. Just happy to be here. Okay. Just a pineapple. Just out here meeting people. Okay. Just girl, do you want to talk about got burned? So wait a minute. First of all, Black women, I am distracted. I used a new edge control. Can we get into that? Saints, care. Okay. Black women. I got distracted by my own edges. I used it anyway. Focus. Okay. So tip number 1, get to know yourself. Be your own friend. That's the first thing, especially as an adult. When you're a child, when you're a child, you spoke as a child, you made friends as a child. But when you become a woman, you should put away childish things. You don't have time to be just walking out into the world and saying, you, me, friend, and we walk out. And then when you come later, this person turned out to be insane and they burn you. You're getting old. Don't do that to yourself. Okay. Tip number 2, in how to let me see this. Blue Isis says, I enjoy my own company. I like spending time with me. I often wonder why some people don't like spending time with themselves to know themselves better. That is something that comes with growth. I enjoy my own company too, and I like spending time with me. Also, some people are introverts and they recharge, and some people are extroverts and they need other people around to feel recharged. And so part of that might be you might be an introvert and they might be extroverted, right? So, right. But yes, you absolutely, even if you are an extrovert and you need interaction with other humans to recharge yourself, you have to know who you are. It's going to serve you in all the different aspects of your life, not just your friendships, you guys. I promise you. I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. Okay. I'm almost 50. I've been out here in these streets. Okay. I'm telling you what I know. Start to figure out who you are and things around you start to change. Okay. Number 2, clarify your why is what I wrote down. So how do you make friendships as an adult? Why do you want to make friends? Which brings me to the introvert extrovert thing. Our society is created for extroverts. I think I made a video one time and it was talking about, I don't remember the topic, but I was basically saying that there are, in every single facet of life, there's a space where our social construct, like all of us in America basically, are walking around and think this 80% of this is the norm. Okay. So like a light version of it is height. I am 6'1". right? And so I fit outside the normal height for women. And so when things are labeled for women, they tend not to work for me, right? Because I am in the 20% outside of what society is constructed for. It's just easier for society to be constructed for a social norm, that 80%. Our society is constructed for extroverts. Our society looks at introversion like it's something that is errant and needs to be fixed. And so introverts be out here fighting for their lives, okay? Trying to let us know that they exist and they are fine. Introverts be trying to tell us they are fine. Now, here's the funny thing. For years, I identified myself as an extrovert. And as I have aged, I have totally switched over and I identify myself as an introvert. I know y'all gonna be like, you're not introvert, Rusty. No, 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 no. Let me tell you something. This pandemic taught me I am an introvert. Because when I tell you I was fine when they said stay in the house, I was fine when they said unto me, go into your house, okay, and don't come out. And it's been 2 years and I'm still fine. I'm still fine, you guys. So I might be a introvert who is very extroverted in presentation. My friend Kyla said that I am an extroverted introvert. I'm an ambivert, is what she called it. Okay. So, but listen, the point is, if you are an introvert, be one. Don't don't make your why because people say I'm supposed to have a bunch of friends. If you're an introvert and all you want is one type person who's clutch, who could play Dungeons and Dragons with you, or y'all could read books in the darkness and get off the phone at 9 o'clock and go to bed, okay? Or y'all could, if you want one clutch, that's fine. Stop trying to fix yourself or change who you are because society says that's what you're supposed to do. Why do you even want the friends? Are you trying to prove to somebody that you're not a loner because they said loners are bad? Are you an introvert trying to squeeze yourself into an extroverted society because you're sick of people asking you what you did this weekend and everybody's like, I did this, I did that, I did that, I did that. And you're just like, I watered my plants and stayed in the house and I was fine. I want you to know who you are and start to love who you are. When you become your own friend, you will be perfectly fine with who you are. And that is why I harp so much on knowing who you are, because too many times I meet adult women like myself who are not living their life. They are chasing a dream that was given to them by society, America, they mama, they daddy, whoever. And like everybody don't need to be a bad bee. Everybody don't need to be booking flights and getting flew out. Like maybe you just want to be at the house. Maybe you want to have a sourdough starter. You just want to bake bread. You just want to be at the house. And so you really don't want a group of 20 friends. Just because you saw somebody do a like luxury TikTok where they had 15 friends in the mountains doesn't mean you want that. You don't have to want it because society says it. So clarify your why. Why do you even want friends? I would aim you in the direction of things like, do I want affection? Do I want companionship? Do I want support? Do I want somebody to be concerned with me? Do I want a witness to my life? Like the lady said, I went through a difficult situation and I had not created any relationships of depth so that when this difficult situation came along, I had no support. Nobody was doing it with me. Do I want a rider? Do I want a bail money person? Okay. That's what I'm saying. And so, like, what do you want? There are people in my life who will text me right now, and I forget that their text message even came in. Sorry. And there are other people in my life, not people. There's like a couple, okay, 3 in my life. A friend who, when she texts me, I text back. I'm talking about just a writer. I'm talking about we have flown to each other. I'm talking about bail money, and that was intentional. Right? So why do you want it? First thing, get to know yourself, be your own friend. Second thing, clarify your why. Third thing on how to create friendships. And I promise you, don't knock it unless you try it, because I often find that people will excuse simple solutions they've never tried. Okay. So if you're struggling in the space of creating social networks, please try these things and see if the fruit comes. The third thing I want you to do is practice your communication skills. Because to be in relationship with another human being, communication is necessary. Southern Rose Tia was laughing at me when I said I was out here raw dogging. It's because I had to learn communication skills. Now, clearly, you guys can tell I don't have a problem talking. Okay. The problem is not this. All right. Words are going to come out. Trust me. And I am also not a person that struggles with quickly identifying where I'm at, what I'm feeling. I know that people have that issue. I do not. But here's the thing, I had to learn that people had that issue because I thought everybody brain was going like mine. I thought everybody had the communication skills I had. Okay. That is not true. I also come from an island, and the way that I could cut you quick and just keep it pushing. Okay. You see that today's word is dainty. Okay. Today's word is dainty. But I'm going to tell you what wasn't dainty, what had to be intentionally curated to be dainty, this mouth. Okay, because cut you quick and keep it moving, island woman style, is not necessarily conducive to a healthy friendship. It's also not conducive to a healthy relationship with self, with myself. And so I had to learn to talk well to myself, talk nice to me, talk kindly to me, to be my own friend, and to start speaking to myself well, and then also giving that same grace to other people. I always tell people that the Bible says that Jesus was full of grace and truth. Some people are full of truth, no grace. Some people are full of grace, no truth. Okay. I was truth, no grace. I cut you quick and keep it pushing, island woman style. And so you have to learn how to communicate because you need to learn. Blue says, you better come in with the things. I was going to put them in banners and I was lazy, but I didn't have to because you type it. And I appreciate you so much. Okay. Number 3, communicate. You know why? Because when you start practicing the communication, the healthy communication with yourself, you're going to take that into communicating with another person. Boom. You're going to take it into communicating with another person. When you start setting boundaries for yourself, I'm not going to do that. I am going to do that. I keep promises to myself. Then when you come to talk to somebody else, you're going to bring that same communication skill into the relationship with the other people. Okay? When you start knowing who you are, you're going to have boundaries to be able to tell them. So the first thing, you got to know who you are. That was step 1. And then now you need to be able to communicate these boundaries because adults go into relationships, platonic or not, with the ability to communicate their yeses and their nos. Okay? Bars. Adults, not children. When I was out here raw dogging these relationships, I went in wide open with no concept of whether I needed to be able to communicate well, communicate nicely. I wasn't. I was just doing what I was doing. Okay, I was just doing what I was doing. Meeting people and just picking up the good and the bad and the ugly, the broken and the listen. Me and my brokenness was picking up their brokenness. We were just out here broken together. Okay, but when I became a woman, I put away childish things. And I understand now that if I notice that you are not communicative and you can't communicate well, all right, then you might not be in the slot of friends. Remember, I told you there's a continuum. There's stranger, there's acquaintance, there's other things somebody can be before I let them in the gates. Okay, they can be an acquaintance, a mentee, they could be anything, a coaching client, they could be, listen, they could be a dude at the grocery store, but they don't have to be friend. Okay. And so learn how to communicate. Number 3 was learn how to communicate and practice it. Practice. And a good way to do it, you guys, is with yourself, is practice in your journal. What do you want? What do you not want? Write these things down. Answer these questions every once in a while. Explore yourself. What is your yes and what is your no? What do you need and what do you not need? How do you feel right now? Where are you vulnerable? Think of these things, start writing them down. Not only will it give you the ability to be more kind and gracious to yourself, it will give you practice on how to communicate with another person because communication is key in these friendships. Okay. Communication is key in these friendships. Okay. Number 4, I actually said this online already, but I'm going to add it in here. And it is allow for humanity. When you are out here meeting these people, you have to allow for humanity. The way I said it in the previous video is, I will disappoint you and they will disappoint me. I'm going to disappoint them. They're going to disappoint me. Because when I am making friends with other people, I am making friends with a person, with a human being, not a robot. I'm not making friends with Jesus, although you should be friends with Jesus. Shata baso. But I'm talking about when you reach out to these peoples, okay? They are people. And so what you're looking for is not perfection, because if you're looking for that, you're not going to find it. You know why? You're not perfect. Hydration. Let's get a sip on sip. Trust me, you're not. Because I'm a weirdo. I'm a nerd. I'm binge watching sociology, social psychology lectures from UCLA on YouTube right now. My stomach. I am trying to be live on the internet. Don't make noises. I'm binge watching social psychology lectures right now because that's something I do for fun. And Black nerds unite. And one of the things that happens when you study humans is we swear up and down that we are one thing and other people are the other thing. But we are all the thing. We think our memory is perfect and other people remembered it differently. And so they're out to get us when we are not camcorders. That's not how it works. Okay, stomach, come on now. We are not. We think that our intention is what we judge on for ourselves, not our impact. But with other people, we judge them on their impact and not their intention. We have a very hard time looking at the world through glasses that are not our own. It takes a level of maturity and intention to pull yourself out of a vantage point that's only your own and allow for other experiences to exist, because you are not a camcorder and neither am I, right? And so you are going to be a disappointment to another human. There is no other human on the planet that you're not going to disappoint at some point. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, for me, that breaks my heart. Like, I really want to talk to God about this whole like humanity thing. Like, what is man that you are mindful of us? Because why, Jesus? Okay. But it's true. And if you're going to reach out and you want reciprocal support, concern, positivity, vulnerability, the benefits that come with a friendship, you have to be willing to give grace to another human being that at some point will disappoint you. Okay, so you have to allow for their humanity. You have to allow for their humanity. Now, that doesn't give a person free reign to constantly keep disappointing you, because there's more to it than that. That's why I said communication is key, because part of allowing for humanity is you want to pick somebody who is willing to take feedback and communicate well, and you want to keep your good eye on them. If you haven't made friends with the person yet, you can discern those things up front. Can this person take feedback? Is this person able to communicate? Does this person have self insight when I'm talking to them? You're not looking for perfection. You're looking for those types of qualities, mature qualities, okay, in a big boy and a big girl. And when you see from the adult perspective that those things don't exist, then you can decide, I'm not going to let that person closer to me. You don't have to run, but you can decide. But when you see they exist, do not expect the person to be perfect, because nobody is. Loneliness is bad for your health. Okay. Number 5. It is a numbers game, you guys. So I had to keep one easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. Remember, I said every human being on the planet beyond your mama starts as a stranger. All right. You don't know these people, they don't know you. Amen. Stranger is the first category of all the humans. The person moves from stranger to acquaintance, right? You have some similar, consistent experience with them, and so they become an acquaintance. Yeah. The guy you always see at the grocery store, the person in your yoga class, right? The lady who has the hairdresser appointment at the same time as you, so she's always in the chair on the other side of the shop, right? These are just acquaintances. The other mom picking up her son from school, yeah. The Uber driver that you've seen twice, right? These are just acquaintances. They're no longer strangers. You recognize them. There's some consistency It's vague but positive, right? That's the thing. Acquaintances, the group of acquaintances. I'm going to stop right there because after acquaintances, it goes friends, deep friends, then you choose them for partnership and blah, 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 right? And family members are outside of that. From the pool of acquaintances, you guys, that's where you get your friends from. Right? Now they might speed through acquaintances, but you pick friends from the group of humans that you are acquainted with. So it's a numbers game. I wrote down here, if you want to make friends, you have to avail yourself to more acquaintances. Introverts are like, are you kidding me, Rushni? I don't want it. Okay, well, listen, I'm not telling you have to keep all these jokers around, okay? But if you want to have one pink sprinkle, you need to buy a box of sprinkles. All right. And so you're not going to meet your person sitting in the house. Your person's not going to ring the doorbell and open the door and say, "Hi, I'm your deep mutual friend who has similar interests in you, and I'm going to be there when your mom passes away in 7 years to support you." They're not going to do that. That person's not going to do that. Mutuality means you have to make some effort. And I know some people are like, "Oh man, I just wanted to fall in my lap." Well, then you don't want a friendship. You want somebody you could use. Oh, shoo-hoo, hydration. Remember, because I said, let me say, an individual's chosen voluntary personal network beyond their family. There's positivity, consistency, and vulnerability. There is a reciprocated affection, benefit, support, concern, companionship, trust, etc. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, one of the things that burned me as a child, not as a child, as a young person and a young adult, was I did not understand the reciprocity part of it. I was pouring myself out on people who were happy to be poured out on. And I was so checked out and dissociated, I didn't even realize they weren't pouring back. I'm going to tell on myself. I didn't. I was a giver who was surrounded by some takers. And nothing's wrong with being a giver with takers around you if you are intentional about that, right? My pastor says some people aren't your friends, some people are assignments. And that's a lesson you have to learn, right? So I was pouring out and 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 pouring out. And one day I had to stop, and I just stopped pouring for a second. When I turned, it was like one person pouring on me. I was like, where'd everybody else go? I thought this was reciprocal. Okay, mutual reciprocity. And so if you are a person, I'm gonna give you an ouchie right now. It's either an ouchie or an amen. I can't see you. Okay, so if it's an ouchie, just take that up with Jesus. If you're a person that wants to get from other human beings all of this wonderfulness from a friendship, but you don't want to give anything, you may be a taker who's looking for a giver. And you can find them. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm just saying that's not a friendship. That's something else. If you're actually trying to create a friendship and you find yourself afraid to make the effort, you may need to go and get yourself some therapy to figure out what it is about giving to others got you frozen up. That's something to explore. Okay. That's something to explore. So it's a numbers game. TJ says, I know you're telling the truth because it's getting out there that's tough for the introvert. Absolutely. But here's the thing about the introvert thing. Never have you ever been able to find other introverts as easily as you can in 2022. Okay. When you were introvert back in the day and you didn't want to see these people funky face, all right, you couldn't reach out to the other introverts and be like, anybody else just want to talk about books all day and don't want to deal with these loud people that won't stop talking. Rushni getting on my nerves. She won't stop talking. She always trying to crack jokes and stupidness. I don't want to hear her hot mouth. I just want to sit here in my house and bake cookies. Anybody else want to do that? But guess what? In the year of our Lord 2022, there is this thing called the internet. There's a thing called the internet. Okay. You can literally go to Google, go to Facebook and search introvert group for introverts. You can go to Reddit. You can go to Discord. You can lurk observe people, see people you like, and then DM them. So I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying there's so much, the effort can be made, and there's so much scaffolding around you to be able to do it better than in the past. Because in the past, you had to get dressed, you had to go to the book club, and I don't want that. And then some blabbermouth who lied about being an introvert sitting there, and you just don't, I don't want it. Okay, and then you got to try again. Now you could just log in. You can just log in from your laptop on your dining table. Okay, while you have dinner with the camera off. All right. Um, I have never looked for groups of introverts. I am the queen of looking for groups of people that share my experiences. I've never looked for that one. Okay. Southern Rose says she has met amazing friends through the internet and she is an introvert. And so the way the technology is set up, there's so much that can help you. So you got to get out there. I wrote down some stuff. You want to think about things like joining a club, an organization. All of these things can be in real life or online. Clearly, the options for online stuff has increased because of the pandemonium, you guys. Google it. I kid you not. If you're looking for a group of people that likes your thing, they're out there. They are. You want to check with friends of friends. If you're an introvert and you don't want to look for friends, and you already made a friend, look for your friend of your friend because they vetted them already. I have a friend who used to do that to me, and she used to annoy me until she literally said to me, I do it because you vet people and you're good at vetting people. So when you vet them, they're great. And I just go ahead and I scoop them up. Okay. If you're an introvert, find you an extrovert. I'm not going to lie. Extroverts like to scoop up introverts. And extroverts like to scoop up introverts. So if you want big extrovert energy in your life, you need to just post the word introvert 4 or 5 times on your Facebook page, and some extrovert is going to come through and be like, I got you. Okay, it's me. I found my introvert friend. We know. Like I said, I'm like an ambivert, but like to go scoop up introverts. Okay. Social media. There are apps for friendship. I have never tried any of them, so this is not an endorsement, but I heard that Bumble has like a Bumble BFF, and there are other apps that are specifically not for physical relationships, but for friendships. Meetup.com, groups about things that you like. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons, look that up. If you like books, look that up. Book Talk, go on TikTok, use the hashtag Book Talk, make a friend over there. Instagram, different hobbies. Do you crochet? Are you a Black girl that likes to talk about hair? I have made plenty of friends just because I am a Black woman on the internet. Last week I did a last minute video with 2 of my friends that I met because of Blackness. One because of Blackness in our hair, and the other one because of Blackness and us getting married. And I've known both women for just short of 2 decades. Okay. So your neighbors is another thing. And I know people are like, your neighbors. Your neighbors. Sometimes the person you're looking for is right around the corner. Maybe you just want somebody to go on a walk with you once a week. Okay. So you got to increase your numbers because the numbers is where you find your person. Here's a fun fact. Everyone ain't gonna be your friend though. So one of the things that I wasn't going to tell you guys, but I'll say it right now because it fits the bill, is the reason why you want to increase your numbers is because you also need to ease up on the pressure that you're putting on one human being to fulfill all of these needs. Everybody ain't gonna like you. You are not everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. This bleeds into romantic relationships too, but I'm just talking about when you're trying to meet adults, don't put so much like, that's my person. I remember when I first started going to church, I did not have this experience, but it was like women were just sitting there waiting to be found. And any man that came into the church or any man that looked like he looked at them sideways one time with one eyelash fell out, oh my God, is he my husband? Too much. Too much. Pipe down, like the guy on TikTok say, pipe down. Okay. Increase your pool of acquaintances. Get to know yourself. Figure out what you're looking for so that when you find it, you recognize it. Okay. And practice communicating what you learn about yourself and what you actually want from someone else so that when you're out and about and you keep bumping into this guy at the coffee shop, You know what you like and you know what you don't like, or you know what you're looking for. So you're not fumbling around. Write it in your journal 3 times and you know. And then when you see the person and you meet them because you have increased your acquaintances, you're going to recognize them and you're going to say, you, me, us, do it. And then you hit them over the head and there, it's happily ever after. Blue Isis says, if you're a runner, black girls run. That's true. Black girls run. And as a that was 5 tips that I gave you. Well, that was 6 really, but 5. Get to know yourself, be your own friend, clarify why you want friends in the first place, and be honest. If you're an introvert and you're just trying to get 20 friends because you want to get the perfect Instagram picture, stop it. Stop it, because you're going to mess with yourself and you're going to ruin somebody else's heart in this friendship. Okay. A lot of us are in our 30s and 40s and 50s and stuff. I mean, if you're in your 20s, God bless you for getting this information early. We don't have time to be wasting people's time no more. Okay. When I was a child, I did that. But when I become a woman, I put away childish things. Don't do it. Practice communication with yourself. Do it in your journal and get familiar with who you are. Get familiar with saying what you do and don't want. Write it out. If you stumble and you struggle with any of these things, reach out to a therapist, get a coach, join a coaching group, do something. Listen, pray, right? Allow for humanity. You are not making friends with a robot. You are not making friends with anybody that's perfect. You know why? You ain't perfect. That doesn't mean that you go out and you pick up the most broken thing ever and bring it home. That's not what you do either. Okay. But I'm saying you want another person who's also healing and working on themselves. And you have to be willing to offer grace. And number 5 is it's a numbers game. The more people that you have to pick from, the more likely that you are going to stumble on the person that works for you as a friend, the person or persons that work for you, right? Now, you can hone that in by honing in. If you know what you want in a friendship, you can Google people. Like, I kid you not, if you want a person that's obsessed with house plants, go to a house plant group. Lurk. Give yourself a goal where you reply to one person every day and then go about your business and see what happens. You can do that because the internet is your friend. Let me tell y'all one more thing, which is kind of inherent. It's a bonus. So I'll just call this number 6. Number 6 is going to be intentional. There is no relationship with another human being without intentionality. There is no such thing. So all of these things I'm telling you are intentionality. The reason why I told you guys that research studies show that your friendship circles start to dwindle around age 25 is because I want to normalize for you the fact that if you are struggling to make friends, you are normal. Nothing is wrong with you. And so nothing is wrong with being intentional if you want to make friends, if you want support and concern and relationship and companionship and a travel partner and a kiki and somebody that checks on you. If you want that, you're going to have to put in the effort. Okay. Putting in the effort looks different for everyone. But if you're talking to a friend who is being communicative with you, then you will know, okay, that you will know what that person needs because you guys are communicating with each other. Okay. And so you guys, I gave you 6 tips on how to make friends as an adult. Like I said, I have a spreadsheet with a whole lot more over here. There will be a challenge in my Vibely coaching community that you guys can come. If you want more of that, you need to join us on Vibely. L. Robinson said, I took a life coach class 4 years ago, met other people and one other Black woman in the class. We still chat on IG. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying. And if you wanted that to be more than just chat on IG, then you could intentionally create something different with her. Okay. If you want to join the challenge, how to make friends challenge as an adult, okay, with stuff like this and more in a group of supportive Black women, bit.ly glamazini PC membership. It is my Vibely community. It is starting this month. I'm restarting it this month. I'm trying to find the coupon code. Here it is. And let me put this here. We will have live meetups. We will have live co-working sessions. and I will have a 2-week how to make a friend challenge running from April 18th to April 29th. So if you are interested, I just put a coupon code in the information box. Click this link and go for the coupon code in the information box. Get 25% off your first month of Vibely, and it ends on Sunday evening, April 10th. So if you're interested, I would love to have you over there. Uh, because it's going to be fun, you guys. It's going to be fun. I have had a few live meetups with the virtual planning retreat this year, and it was wonderful. I really enjoy the group of women that are drawn to me. We always have a good time. We are healing. We are creating our joy. We are being better versions of ourselves. And so if you struggle with making friends and you want to have more information about making friends, come and do the challenge bit.ly/glamazini PC membership. The other thing I'm going to be talking about is for the next few weeks, once we start that, I'm going to be talking about about friendships, you guys. So I'm going to cover how to make friends. I'm going to cover how to strengthen existing friendships, because sometimes we have the friendship, but we don't know how to lock it in better. Like we want it to be more, but we don't know how. So I have actually been trying to do that personally for the last few years. And I'm going to share with you guys what I've been doing and more things from other resources. The last thing that was highly requested as something to talk about was what to do when friendships end. One lady said that her friendship with her best friend ended after a couple decades. She felt like she got a divorce and her friend took the kids. I kid you not, you guys, I have had the exact same thing happen to me. And so we make it seem like the only thing that hurts is when romantic relationships end. And when I say we, society, we don't honor the fact that when anything ends, there is a grief and there is a pain. And so if you want to process that with us and talk about that, please come through. I am trying. You guys all pray. Whoever's watching this, let's pray right now. I have reached out to a few people to come do a group coaching session, a guest coaching session with the ladies. I haven't heard back from any of them yet, but if they can make it, then there will be a guest coach. I have another guest coach set up for a whole different topic in the lurch, and I'll be reaching out to guest coaches in the future too. The last thing that I wanted to, and there will also be co-working sessions. So join us on Vibely. Let me see what else. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to tell you guys. So there is a YouTuber named Stephanie Perry. I had her live on with me the other, probably like a month ago now. We were talking about Black women in ease. I love her content. She's great. And she has a fund where she is raising money to send a Black woman on sabbatical. And I am entirely inspired by her. If she watches this video, she can take credit for the whole thing. I want to have a fund that allows a Black woman to create more joy. That's all it is. I want to collect money, okay, so she can chop life, all right? So that a Black woman can have the fun to create joy and to do her joy thing. So there's two ways that you can help me, because I need you to help me with this. All right. The first thing that you can do is, if you are a Black girl, if you're 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 a Black girl, do your thing. Okay. And you want to apply for the fund to be helped with anything that would bring you joy. Okay. Because the world doesn't have enough joy. We don't have it. All right. And I'm like, what a wonderful idea. I don't know if I'm gonna pull this off, but I'm gonna try. Go to bit.ly/glamazini Black Woman Joy Fund. Fill out the Google form. It's short. Tell me what your joy thing is. And you might be chosen to get your joy thing. All right. It's basically going to be money that you tell me that you could use for this thing. It'll bring you joy. And I'm not even sure what I want in return. I think I definitely at least want a picture of you with or doing your thing. And the other thing that can happen is you can help me by giving money to support a Black woman creating her joy. If you go to here'sapineapple.com, that is where you can support me right now. You can support me on Patreon, on YouTube, and Facebook. If you give on Patreon, I will take half of that money and put it in the Black Girl Joy Fund. Now, the way that I am gauging if anybody is interested in this right now is if people are joining on Patreon. I've had 2 people join since I mentioned it. I didn't mention it last week because we were too busy in Slapgate. But I've had 2 people join since I mentioned it. And so for me, that is wonderful because that means that people may be interested or not. I can't really tell. But if you are interested in helping a Black woman create more joy, go to patreon.com. You can .com/glamazini. You can also find it here'sapineapple.com. Become a patron, and I will take half of my Patreon earnings, and it will become part of that fund. It will become part of that fund. I have not had any woman apply for the fund yet, though. So y'all missing out. One of the things that I want you guys to remember is how you create friendships and how you create anything in your life is you show up. Show up. Whenever things are availed to you, sometimes you don't get it because you're not present. Blue Isis says, how do we donate to the Joy Fund? And the reason why Blue Isis is asking is because Blue Isis is already a patron. Okay, so if you're saying that you want to give more to the Joy Fund, is that what you're saying? I'm going to have to figure that out because I don't have a way right now. I'm sure that you could probably just PayPal me, but if you're trying to give more, okay, let me know if that's what you mean, and I will put a link either in the comments. Well, I don't have it right now. Let me know if that's what you mean. I will send the link to you personally so that you know. And if you're watching this on the replay, I will put a link to how you could give like a one-time donation in the information box of this video when I update the video. Okay. So, excuse me. That's a tickle in my throat. Let me go back. Let me see what you guys are saying before I run away. Hopefully this helps you guys. Oh, I did see some of these up here. I saw when Queen Nay, I'm not sure if you're still here. As a 40-plus-year-old woman, I struggle with meeting new friends. One of the things that the first thing you can do, Queen Nay, is change your, how you speak about what's happening with you. Because if you walk out into the world and think, I struggle with this thing, you're going to come at it from the struggle perspective. And so my advice to you would be, because I'm 45, I'm about to be 46 in a few weeks. Okay. It's under a month. Your girl about to be, this is what 46 is looking like. Okay. You can say something different about it and it will make you ask a new question. Because if your desire is to actually have friendships, walking around thinking I struggle with, you're going to come at it from a struggle perspective and you're going to stop before you start. You have gotten results that you haven't wanted, but you will be able to create something different. And so choose a different way to speak about it. And that would be the first thing that I would do. I would journal it to myself. I would say to myself in the morning, I create new relationships. I can learn how to create new relationships. I have not gotten the results in relationships that I wanted in the past, but I can change that. I can create something new. I used to think I struggled with relationships, but I will learn a new way. That kind of words, because what will happen then is now you're opening up your mind and your thoughts to ask a different question. Because the question after you tell yourself that thing that hasn't actually happened in your life is, how can I do that? Aha. And then when you start asking the how questions, the seekers find. When you start asking questions, the answers start coming to you. Because then you start posting the question or asking the question and God starts talking to you, or you're asking the question to yourself and you see the answer in a book, or you see the answer in an Instagram post, or you notice somebody posting something on the internet, right? Blue Isis was telling TJ that she's finding potentials when I start investigating hobbies. That's the other thing. My current thing now is I kind of friend stalk people, and it doesn't mean that I'm absolutely going to be friends with them. I can't guarantee friendship with another person. I cannot. But I do pay attention to some people that are very much of interest. Okay. They're given what they were supposed to have given from the external. And I'm being very intentional about that because I know what I've done everything I've told you guys. I know what I'm looking for in my life. I know the type of person that I want to have in my life. And so if I start seeing people that fit the bill, I pay attention to them. The more places I get myself out there and make safe bids for connections, which those interact with regularly, the higher the probability I can find a friend. Absolutely. And for those that don't know, bids for connections are a term popularized by the Gottmans. They are a couple that has done years and years and years of research on relationships, specifically marriage, but research on relationship, decades of research. And they can actually accurately predict when couples will get a divorce based off of certain criteria. And one of the criteria is bids for connection. When a person they reach out to you for something, for a connection, for a need to be met. And yeah, so that's what that term is meaning. Let's keep going here. Excuse me. Getting adopted by extroverts was the way from 2005 to 2018. Let me tell you something. I scooped up a few introverts on my own, and I am an introvert, but I'm like an extroverted introvert. I would just walk out and be like, who left this person? Who left this wonderful person here? Who left this wonderful, quiet person here? You, me, us. And I just go about my business. Okay. So if you're an introvert, I mean, now it's very passive. It's a passive way for you to interact with people. And so you might get burned. I'm not saying it's always going to turn out well, but sometimes it does. You know, if you're an introvert, you just got to put yourself out there and let it say I'm an introvert 7 times. It's like every time a bell rings, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Okay. Every time an introvert says they're an introvert 20 times, the extrovert comes by and scoops them up. Okay. Go ahead and have the time of your life. All right. Southern Bells, I recommend being an adoptee to an extrovert. It's exhausting, but the benefits are undeniable. That's what I'm trying to say. Girl, you saying what I'm saying. Okay. It tire you right out. But you want to have a good time? You want to be tired? Okay. Have a good time. Go ahead and say you're an introvert 7 times and see if the magic starts swirling around. You'll be like, where are all these birds? Like in a Disney movie, start swirling. Extrovert just shows up and be like, I will take you now. And then next thing you know, you on a girls trip in the mountain that you didn't want to be on. Okay. I'm telling you what I know. Blue Eyes said, head over to Glamazini's Lively group. You will meet other like-minded women. And you just might find a friend. That sounds like, listen, I'm gonna need you to be my copywriter. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to connect with people, remember the components of friendship and connection are positivity, consistency, and vulnerability. And trust me, it's the positive group of like-minded women who are being vulnerable, and we have regular meetups. And so all the components to create a friendship exist in my group. I appreciate you pointing that out. All right, let's see what else. You joined after hearing about the Joy Fund. Yeah, for those who want it one more time, I'll put it on the screen. If you are a Black girl and you want to have more joy in your life and you're bold enough to show up, sometimes you can't get what you want because you won't create it. I'm putting it right in front of your face. Go out there, put your name in the list, and you never know, you might get chosen. Go to bit.ly/glamazini, Black Woman Joy Fund. Put your name on the list. Okay, you can't get picked if you won't be chosen. If you want to help a Black woman create more joy, if all of us put our coins together, I can help more women. Like I can just be rolling women through the list based off of, whatever they want. Go to here'sapineapple.com and support me on Patreon, and you can help me out. Okay, that is beautiful. I would love, could you guys imagine if I actually got that to happen? That makes me happy. Okay. So, TJ says, thank you so much for this live discussion. It's truly a blessing to be able to discuss these things. Absolutely. If you love it and you want more of it, this is the type of stuff that we talk about in my coaching group, except we are face to face. I love to see everybody's face. Okay. I used to do it on Zoom, and trust me, if Vibely tries to screw with me one day, Zoom is going to be where it is. You can see our faces. You don't have to have your camera on, but we get to know each other, we chat, and I go deep. You can ask me questions, et cetera, et cetera. All right, you guys, the hour is far spent. So I'm going to go ahead and get off. I will see you guys next week, probably Friday. I like this Friday time frame. So I will see you guys next week for Find Your Light Live. And if you're watching this on Facebook, you will see the replay tomorrow, because the way that YouTube takes forever, it'll take me. Everything I mentioned is going to be in the information box of this video. I will update it after the live. Create an incredible weekend, you guys. Mhm. Be well, be encouraged. Here's a pineapple cup. Bye, y'all. Bye, bye, bye.